Hello guys, and welcome back to the finale of Building Scarif. Alright guys, I just showed you guys that really quick preview of the build. You know, I got the best lighting I could, just like a few lamps that was around the house. So I just set them up, and I'm trying to do the best lighting that I can. I can't really do much right now. I have a job, but I'm just not having enough money. Hopefully soon I'll be able to get some more better lighting. But honestly, I think we should get into the build. So this took 8 weeks, I believe. This is the 8th week, but this is just looking really, really cool. I love the way this turned out, and it's pretty huge builds, you know. And I just want to get right into the builds. You know, I'll give you a quick overview, and then we'll go into the more detailed stuff. So obviously, this is Scarif. So starting off, we have the Rebel side. We have Rebel with the hologram here, you know, contacting some, you know, Rebel forces up in space. We have a few more Rebels around him, taking cover, firing at Stormtroopers. The Stormtroopers are charging with a Death Trooper in charge, and they're just like making their way through the sand to the landing pad to try to capture them and destroy all of them. Then we have, this is the general guy I just made out of random Legos from General Veers and the one guy from Solo. I have his two security guards. I don't really know. Death Star Troopers, Fleet Troopers. I don't know what they're doing on the beach, but they're running out to clear out any rebels that try to attack him. We have some Stormtroopers trying to make their way through the woods, trying to cut off their escape and try to flank the rebels. But the Rebel Pathfinders got there first, and you can see this rebel is absolutely destroying. He's knifing one and then shooting another one at the same time. And you have a few more Stormtroopers running into these woods. But the main force is over here attacking the landing pad. So I don't know how this is going to work out for the Stormtroopers, but they're going to try to charge in there. And I spent the most time on this probably on the water, just because the sheer amount of pieces. It was somewhere near 500 to 700 pieces I ordered, which is just a lot for just water. Even though it doesn't look like it, it definitely is. As long as probably 500 studs as well. It's truly incredible. You don't think it's going to last that long. I initially thought the water was going to go up here. Obviously, that did not work out. So I just added a few more islands, and I think the beach looks really cool with the tiled off areas being, you know, basically in front. And we have this little landing pad here with just a little bit of green on it. I had a palm tree, but I don't think that really fit that much, so I just added it over there. So there's 7 palm trees there. And then over here, we have another one of the battles. It's kind of like a secondary one, but it's in between these rebels coming from the U-Wing, actually dropping off a bunch of troops. You can see there's the one guy still in the U-Wing, and there's a bunch of rebels jumping out. You see this guy's jumping in midair, coming off, and these guys are running forward, trying to kill all these Stormtroopers and maybe try to capture this general. To see how that works out for them, I'll get back to. But the U-Wing, I just used some clear pieces to make it hover. Another thing is I have Jen with the Death Star plans coming out the back. I don't really know why she has the Death Star plans. I guess this is another version of it, where she gets the Death Star plans. This U-Wing dropped her off to reunite with the rebels because the shield's still up, so she can't bring her all the way up. But we have, basically that's the overview, then we'll go into more detailed stuff right now. So as far as the water goes, I already said it was between like maybe 1,000 pieces total with the studs in the water. I also put some clear pieces where I could. I do not have a lot of them, but I tried to put them in where I could. A lot of sand detailing was harder than I thought it would be. Not because it was like skill-wise, but just because of the amount of pieces I had to work with. So I used a bunch of my tile on the, basically the shoreline, which I think turned out good. Like that's kind of how I wanted it. But I used all the sand pieces I possibly could, to just spread them out as far as I can. You know, I have some around the landing pad, and I have some just melting in. So I also just used base plate, and a bunch of small base plates, but I tried to make it look like is not that much of base plate, because I'm pretty sure you guys can tell that this is a square and this is a square, or this is like a big rectangle area here. But I tried to cover it, you know, putting some out into the dark tan. Dark tan is what I have the most of, seeing how most of these parts were ordered or from Pick-a-Brick, because dark tan I used in Utapau and Ryloth. If you haven't seen those, I would suggest you check it out. But all the sand that just goes along here, I think blends really, really cool. Also along this light green, all came from Pick-a-Brick and some of the base plates I used. But when you put all these down, it's like, wow, I had like 500 of these before, and now I put them down, it only seems like there's 40. But trust me, there's a lot of these pieces, but I laid them down all in between, and this took like a really, really long time, and it's no joke. So, laying down these plates in some sort of pattern was pretty hard. I also noticed that this jungle area was kind of square. Afterwards, I was like, oh, that's probably something I would change about this, which is a video I'm going to make afterwards. You know, a few things I would change about this MOC, how much it cost, just kind of drag out the series and get as much content as I can out of this huge MOC that I spent a lot of time on, you know. And don't worry, I'm going to be doing another MOC series to this, hopefully bigger, hopefully better. If this gets a bunch of views, I'll definitely do it and order even more parts, make it even bigger. You see, this is a ping pong table, and I'll make it like this entire side of the ping pong table, which would just be incredible. But for now, we're going to keep looking into the story. So we have this general right here, and he's basically in charge of the base area on the beach. You know, we just have a like random technician over there working on some data pad. He's looking over, he sees the rebels coming in, he's starting to get a little worried. But the stormtroopers noticed the rebels on the landing pad and on the beaches coming in, so they sent all their troops that they could in. And you see over here, probably wondering why these scout troopers and these patrol troopers. Well, the story of that, basically, I needed more stormtroopers, and this is a good way to do it, to kind of incorporate it in the story. So I'm trying to get this guy back. There's a scout patrol up front who were already like on duty. So when they found out that the rebels were coming, they just sent the scouts right away. Though that didn't work too good for them, because you can see this scout trooper's getting shot, and these two got blown up by this rocket, which I think looks really cool. It's kind of like a cinematic angle. But I really like the way it turned out, and I think, you know, what I did here is I put some of these round things with the two holes. I just took a bunch of fire pieces with a bunch of these clear cylinders and just stacked them, and I actually put a fire piece on the end just to basically say that it's exploding, if that makes any sense. And moving into the jungle, you just have these stormtroopers that were initially part of this force and went out to the jungle to try to flank the rebel forces, maybe like split them in half. But at this point, it was just the rebels at that landing pad. Empire thought this was an easy victory. What is there? 7 rebels there behind cover. You know, we have a lot more stormtroopers than them, but the Pathfinders came out to stop the flank. We have like the special forces troopers cutting down some Imperials while more are running in. And some of these troops actually turned off to follow this shore trooper captain as these forces were getting attacked. And this rebel team coming from the U-Wing reinforcements are going to try to break through the stormtrooper line and these two guys back here to go back and capture this guy and help out over here. So if the rebel Pathfinders went over there, then they'll flank, and this guy could just like turn around and shoot stormtroopers right there. But I guess he's not focused on that. Maybe there's more brush, something like that. But also, if the stormtroopers win, they'll take what troops they have left and try to flank or reunite with the force. And these rebels looks like they're gonna win. There's a bunch of them just jumping out of the gunship. You know, they almost outnumber the stormtroopers, which are these like rebel special forces guys. So you have 5 there, and then there's of course the alien guy in the gunship. I don't know if you can see that, but he's sitting in there. He's sitting there. Yeah, he is. Just make sure I added him. And then there's also Jen that came out of the gunship back here, in case I wanted to add her in the battle later. Which, that's basically the main battle part. Then I'm going to go on to the landing pad and explain a little bit. See, there's a lot of things I was thinking about with the landing pad. I was thinking about first having a U-wing having landed on the landing pad, and these rebels were trying to fend it off. Obviously, as you can see, this U-wing's pretty huge, and if you just compare it, yeah, there's a difference. It would look really, it would be off the mark by a lot. Like I see it is now, but it's off the mark by a lot if I put it there. So I just put these rebel forces here. This guy's calling to like an admiral or a rebel cruiser in space, telling them to pick us up and destroy the Imperial fleet. But we have a bunch of these guys, you know, the rebel pathfinders. But these are the guys that helped Jen extract the plans, because these are like basically the spec up guys. And they're taking cover. This guy's there. And this guy's leaning around the cargo crates. And the Empire has a lot of troops here, as well as a Death Trooper. But, you know, there's taken some casualties already. And the rebels are behind cover, and they're right in the open. And this guy right here, once again, can just turn around and kill a bunch of them. Or get killed by one of these stormtroopers that just, like, looks over. But that's besides the point. You know, there's not much more to say about this MOC. You know, I spent a bunch of time on it. I gathered pieces, spent a bunch of money. And I'm just really excited to do my next MOC, as well as seeing what happens this MOC. I'm planning to do some shorts with this, maybe some other video content, but we'll see. But this is all, guys. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.